Achilles was the greatest warrior in ancient Greece. Nobody could beat him. Nobody could even get close. He was faster, stronger, and more terrifying than everyone around him, so naturally, the Greeks sent him to the biggest war imaginable, and that war was supposed to make him immortal. Instead, it made him famous, furious, and eventually very dead. And somehow, his greatest enemy wasn't another warrior. It was a prophecy, his own pride, and one arrow. So how did the greatest warrior alive become one of mythology's greatest tragedies? Let's go back to before Achilles was even a warrior. His mother was Thetis, a powerful sea goddess. His father was Peleus, a mortal king. That meant Achilles was something between human and divine. And Thetis desperately wanted her son to survive. Unfortunately, the gods had already written his future. Achilles had two possible lives. One would be long, peaceful, and completely forgotten. The other would be short, violent, and legendary. Guess which one a future Greek hero chose? Yep, he picked fame, because Achilles didn't just want to live. He wanted people to remember his name forever. And then came the Trojan War. The Greeks sailed across the Aegean with thousands of soldiers. Their target was Troy, one of the strongest cities around. They wanted Helen, but they also wanted revenge. And Achilles was their most dangerous weapon. He arrived with his best friend, Patroclus. The two had fought together for years, and unlike Achilles, Patroclus actually knew when to be careful. The Greeks landed outside Troy and started the longest siege of their lives. Day after day, they attacked the walls. Day after day, the Trojans pushed them back, and Achilles kept winning battles. He became so terrifying that soldiers ran when they saw him. But then Achilles had a very human problem. He had an enormous ego, and eventually, that ego collided with the Greek commander. His name was Agamemnon, and he outranked Achilles, which was apparently enough to start one massive argument. Agamemnon took something Achilles believed belonged to him. Achilles was furious. Not slightly annoyed, furious. So he made a decision that nearly destroyed the Greeks. He stopped fighting. The Greeks immediately started losing. The Trojans pushed them all the way back toward their ships, and Achilles just watched from his tent. His friends begged him to return. Achilles basically said, "Nope." Meanwhile, Troy's greatest warrior stepped onto the battlefield. His name was Hector. Hector wasn't a monster. He was Troy's best defender, and unlike Achilles, he was fighting to protect his home. He started destroying the Greeks. Their ships were burning. Their army was collapsing, and Achilles still refused to help. But then Patroclus had an idea. If Achilles wouldn't fight, maybe his armor could. Patroclus asked to wear Achilles' armor. The plan was simple. The Trojans would think Achilles had returned. They would panic and retreat, and the Greeks could survive another day. Except Patroclus got carried away. He kept pushing the Trojans back. He killed enemy soldiers. He kept advancing. And eventually, Hector came to stop him. Hector realized something was wrong. This wasn't Achilles, it was Patroclus, and Hector killed him. When Achilles heard the news, everything changed. His best friend was dead. The argument with Agamemnon suddenly didn't matter anymore. The war didn't matter anymore either. Achilles wanted one thing. Hector. The gods knew Achilles was coming. And now the greatest warrior in Greece was angry. Very, very angry. The Greeks finally had their unstoppable weapon back. Achilles returned to battle like a natural disaster. Soldiers couldn't stop him. Trojans couldn't stop him. Even the river itself couldn't stop him. He kept moving toward Troy, and Hector knew exactly who was coming. Hector had one choice: stay inside the walls or face Achilles. He chose to face him. For a moment, the two greatest warriors stood opposite each other. One was fighting for revenge. The other was fighting for his city. Hector attacked first. Achilles dodged. Hector attacked again. Achilles was faster, much faster, and eventually, Achilles found the opening. Hector fell. Achilles had won, but winning wasn't enough. Achilles dragged Hector's body behind his chariot. He wanted everyone to know what happened to Troy's greatest warrior, and for a while, it looked like Achilles had won everything: fame, glory, revenge. There was just one problem. Achilles was still mortal. Remember that prophecy. The short life hadn't disappeared. It was getting closer, and Troy had one warrior left who mattered. His name was Paris. Paris wasn't remotely as good a fighter as Achilles, so nobody expected him to kill the greatest warrior alive. But Paris had something Achilles didn't: a bow. And according to the myth, Apollo was helping him. Achilles entered the city battlefield again. He had survived countless battles, he had defeated Hector, he had become almost impossible to kill. Almost, and this is where the famous heel comes in. The later tradition says his heel was his one vulnerable spot. Why? Because Thetis had tried to make him immortal. She dipped him into the river Styx, but she held him by one heel. That tiny spot never received the protection. Whether every ancient version told it this way is complicated, but the image became legendary. The greatest warrior alive had one tiny weakness, and Paris was about to find it. Paris pulled the string, he aimed. And he fired. The arrow struck Achilles, the greatest warrior of Greece was finally defeated. Not by a stronger warrior, not by an army, not even by a god directly, but by one arrow hitting one tiny place. The irony is almost too perfect. Achilles spent his entire life trying to become unforgettable, and he succeeded, but he paid for that fame with his life. And remember what he was offered: a long life with no great story, or a short life remembered forever. Achilles chose the second, and honestly, he got exactly what he wanted. Thousands of years later, we still know his name. We know his battles, we know his rage, we know his friendship with Patroclus, and we definitely know his heel. But there is another twist to his story. Achilles didn't actually conquer Troy. He didn't live to see the Trojan horse. He didn't get to sail home as a victorious king. His story ended before the war did, and that makes his choice even more brutal. He knew glory would cost him his future. He chose it anyway. That's what makes Achilles different from most heroes. He wasn't simply trying to survive. He wanted his life to mean something. Unfortunately, he believed meaning required glory, and glory required war, and war required sacrifice. Eventually, that sacrifice was Achilles himself. There's also a lesson hiding underneath all the monsters and gods. Achilles was almost invincible, but almost isn't the same as invincible. The smallest weakness can matter more than every strength combined. And Achilles had plenty of strengths. He was fast, he was powerful, he was fearless, he was incredibly skilled. But he couldn't outrun fate, and he couldn't defeat his own choices. The same pride that made him legendary also destroyed him. His anger cost the Greeks countless battles, his anger cost him Patroclus, and his desire for revenge pushed him toward his own death. That's why Achilles isn't just a story about strength. It's a story about what strength can fix. You can be the strongest person in the room, you can win almost every fight, you can even become practically impossible to kill, and still have one weakness you can't see. For Achilles, it was literally a heel. For everyone else, it might be something less obvious: pride, anger, fear, greed. Sometimes your greatest strength creates your biggest weakness. Achilles wanted glory, so he became fearless. But because he wanted glory, he couldn't walk away. He wanted revenge, so he became unstoppable. But because he wanted revenge, he ignored the danger. He wanted immortality through memory. And he got it, just not in the way most people would choose. Achilles became immortal as a story, not as a person, and that's the strange deal he made with fate: a short life, a legendary name, and one tiny weakness. Thousands of years later, the weakness is probably what we remember most, which is honestly pretty funny. The greatest warrior in Greek mythology, reduced to one body part in modern language. Whenever someone says Achilles' heel, they're talking about weakness. That's the legacy of a warrior who wanted to be remembered forever. He got exactly what he wanted. He became one of the most famous heroes ever, but his story came with a warning: being powerful doesn't make you invincible, and sometimes the smallest weakness is the one that matters most. Achilles wanted everyone to remember his name. They did. Just remember the price he paid for it: one short life, one legendary war, and one tiny weakness. That's the story of Achilles, the greatest warrior in Greece, and the man who proved that nobody is completely invincible. Not even Achilles stopped, because sometimes all it takes is one arrow and one very unlucky heel. And that is how the greatest warrior became a legend, not because he lived forever, but because his story did. For thousands of years, people kept telling it, and every time they did, they remembered his weakness. So maybe that was Achilles' real immortality: not being impossible to kill, being impossible to forget.